Hi, in this video we will try to understand why we need StafeulSets in Kubernetes. Let's say that we have a backend application. It can be, for example, a Java or Python or .NET application running with a database. So here we're gonna focus on the database side, okay? So let's say that here we have a MySQL database running and accessed by the backend application. And let's say that after some time, we notice that the traffic coming to the backend application increases. So here we have to scale up the backend application. And we have also to scale up the databases to handle the requests coming from the backend applications. And for that, here we need more instances of the MySQL database. So here, for example, we're gonna create another instance of this database. So this is the second instance, and this is the third one. So here, because we have many instances of MySQL, we have to set a topology for those instances. We can, for example, use the single master multi-slaves topology, okay? So we can choose, for example, that this instance will be the master. So here we have MySQL master, and those two instances are the slaves. So here, for example, we have MySQL slave 1, and here we have MySQL slave 2. So here any write will come to the master, and the read operation can be performed by either the master or one of the slaves, okay? So where we want to write data in the database, this should be done in the MySQL master, okay? But the read operation can be performed by either the master or one of the slaves, okay? So here we have some requirements that should be satisfied, okay? The first thing is that we have to make sure that the master comes first. So here we have to set up the master first, and then the slaves. So the first thing that we have to achieve here is that the master should be up and running before the slaves, okay? So let's focus now on the slave 1. So the second thing here is that we have to clone the data from master to slave 1. So the data written here to the MySQL master should be available also in the slave 1. And after that, we have to enable continuous replication. From master to slave 1. And to enable continuous replication from master to slave 1, we have to tell slave 1 where the master is. So here we should tell the slave 1 we should give the slave 1 the address of the master instance. So now because slave 1 now where the master is, the continuous replication from master to slave 1 is enabled. So now the setting for the slave 1 is done. Let's now move to the slave 2. The same thing for the slave 2. Here we have to clone the data. Here we can clone the data either from the master or from slave 1, because the data written here to the master instance is available also in the slave 1. So we can here clone the data from slave 1 to slave 2. And as we do with slave 1, here we have to enable the continuous replication from master to slave 2. So the data coming to the master should be duplicated on the slave 2. So here we have to enable continuous replication from master to slave 2. So the first thing that we have to do here is to set up the master first, and then we have to clone the data from master to slave 1. So the data written here to the master should be cloned to the slave 1. And then we have to enable a continuous replication from master to slave 1. So any data written here to the master should be duplicated on the slave 1. In the step 4, we have to clone the data from slave 1 to slave 2. So the data here available on the slave 1 should be cloned by the slave 2. And then we enable continuous replication from master to slave 2. So any data coming here to the master should be duplicated on slave 2. And for that, here we have also to tell the slave 2 where the master is. So here we should give the slave 2 the address of MySQL master. So let's say that we want to deploy those applications in a Kubernetes cluster. Here we can deploy those applications or those MySQL instances using, for example, a deployment object. So here we can use a deployment object in Kubernetes to deploy the MySQL instances. But the problem here is with a deployment, when we deploy those applications, let's say that we want to create 3 MySQL instances with the deployment. Here the 3 instances will be created in the same time. So here when we create the deployment, the 3 MySQL instances will be created at the same time. So we can't make sure that the master will be created first and then the slaves. So with the deployment, the slaves can be up and running first before the master being ready. But at the beginning, here when we discussed this scenario, we mentioned here that we have to make sure that the master comes first and then the slaves. Okay, so with the deployment we can't make sure that the master will be created first and then the slaves. Another problem we have here when we create those instances with deployment is that those instances will be pods in Kubernetes, and each pod will have a random name. So for example, the first one can be called, for example, MySQL combined with some characters. The same for the second one. And the same thing for the slave 2. So a random name will be assigned here to each pod. And here, to enable the continuous replication, we have to tell the slaves where the master is. And for that, we will use the name of the pod where the master is. But the problem here is that if this pod goes down, here the deployment will create a new instance. So this is now the master, and we'll assign to it a random name. Okay, so here we can have, for example, MySQL combined with those characters. Okay, so now the address of the master is changed, but the slaves are not aware of that. Okay, so the slaves still pointing to this address, which is the address of the MySQL master pod that doesn't exist anymore. Okay, so now the address of the master is this one, but the slaves are not aware of this change. And we have the same issue if we use the IP address, because the IP address is dynamically assigned to pods. So when this pod goes down, a new pod will be created with a different IP address. Okay, so the problem we have here with the deployment object is that we can't make sure that the master is coming first and then the slaves. And the second problem is that we can't make sure that the master is always available at the same address. And that's why in Kubernetes we have another object that we can use to deploy stateful applications, which is the StafeulSet object. So here, to avoid the problems that we have with the deployment, we can deploy our MySQL instances using StafeulSet object. So we said earlier that here we have to deploy those instances in a sequential order. So first of all, the master should come first, and then slave 1, and then slave 2. And that can be done using the deployment, but can be achieved using the StafeulSet object. Because with the StafeulSet object, the pods will be created in a sequential order. So when we deploy, for example, 3 instances of MySQL, the StafeulSet will create, first of all, an instance of MySQL. And after making sure that this instance is up and running, it will create a second instance. And the same for the third one. Okay. So the pods created by a StafeulSet object will be created in a sequential order. So the StafeulSet will make sure that the first instance is up and running before creating the second instance. And after moving to creating the second instance, it will make sure that the second one is up and running before going to create the third one. So now we are sure that this instance will be created first, and then this one, and finally this one. Okay, so we can choose this one as master, and this one as slave 1, and finally the third one as slave 2. So now we are sure that the master comes first and then slave 1. So we can clone data from master to slave 1 and enable the continuous replication from master to slave 1. And the same for the slave 2. So when the slave 1 is up and running, the slave 2 will be created. So we can clone the data from slave 1 to slave 2 and enable the continuous replication from master to slave 2. And the StafeulSet here will assign a name to each pod where those instances are running, and the name of each pod will be the name of the stateful set, for example, MySQL, combined with an index given to each pod starting from 0. So here, for example, for the first one, we have MySQL 0, and for the second one, here we have MySQL -1. So the stateful set will give this one an index of 0, and the second one, here the index will be 1. So the index given to each pod will be incremented by 1. Okay, so here we have MySQL -0, and for the slave 1 we have MySQL -1, and for the slave 2 here we have MySQL -2. Okay, and here if the master, for example, goes down, here the stateful set will create a new pod, which will be the master, and we'll assign to it the same name as the first master. So here we have MySQL -0. Okay, so here with the stateful set, even if the pod goes down, we make sure that the master is always available at the same address, and this address can be used for slaves to tell them where the master is to enable the continuous replication. So here we give the slave 1 the address of the master, and the same for slave 2. So with the stateful set, if the master goes down and a new pod was created, we make sure that the master is always available at the same address. So the important thing that we have to know here is that we use StafeulSet to deploy stateful applications, and with the StafeulSet we make sure that each pod is always available at the same address. Even if the pod goes down and it will be recreated, it will be always available at the same address, and the pods are created in a sequential order and not at the same time. So that's why we have StafeulSets in Kubernetes. And finally, I hope that everything is clear, and thank you very much.